This video is for students and for CAS advisors to know how to create reflections and what to look for. Using Josh as an example again, we can see that he has one experience listed. It's called Coaching GIS Under 16 Football. So I'm going to click on that because he wants to go into this particular experience. And we go over to CAS questions. So Josh needs to complete these 3 CAS questions, and so do students when they have an experience. What do you hope to learn or gain by this experience? 2 to 3 sentences, please. Did you initiate and plan this experience? How did you hear about it? Remember to show evidence of emails or notes of phone conversations that you have. That's how you can prove that you initiated it. Do you work with others on this experience or project? So if you did, what are some of the difficulties? And how did working with somebody make that experience easier? Unfortunately, these 3 questions do not show up in your reflections. So if you wanted to, you can always copy and paste and put them in the reflections, and that will help you. When I click on reflections and evidence, we can see that there's nothing there. And if we go to the upper right, we add new reflections and evidence. And this is where you can have a written journal. You can also include a website. You can include videos. You can include photos or any type of files. So let's just stick with the journal for a second. Let's say Josh creates something, his very first one, like he hasn't done it yet, right? So looking forward to working with GIS students and Mr. Keene to coach football. I've only played football and never coached. So this is going to teach me new skills. Okay, now this reflection should be, 3 to 5 to 10 sentences. So I'm just very briefly showing you this one. But right down here, we can see the outcomes that he had checked off. So we want to make sure that you click on the outcome that shows that you've proven, this reflection is going to prove that you've met one of these outcomes. So let's say, for example, we can click off demonstrate the challenges have been undertaking and new skills are in the progress. Mr. Keene has given me the playbook and I've already learned new moves. Okay, excuse my typing. All right, so he's saying to us right here that challenges have been undertaken and he's already developed a skill. So if he continues on with this reflection and he talks about, working with Mr. Keene, I've learned a lot of new skills and the students have really, we talk back and forth about better ways that they could have played that's working collaboratively, and then you could check that off as well. And then he would click on add a new entry. Now please note that this is way too small of a reflection. I'm just showing you as an example. But you have to click on that add new experience. And maybe a week later, 3 days later, he goes in and he wants to create another one. Please put in photos. Have people take photos of you coaching or playing tennis or doing the walk or helping out at the canine or whatever it is that you're doing. Please make sure that you're showing information in here. Now down at the bottom, sometimes students feel like they don't really know what to write in their reflection. It's giving you advice down here. So you can consider the following questions at different stages and use this as a guideline to create reflections. Please just don't tell us what you did. We need to know how you felt about it, what you learned, how working with other people helped you. Was it a success or was it not a success? Also remember, your experience does not have to be successful to still get credit. You might have an experience to raise 1,000 dirhams for a particular cause. If you only raise 200 dirhams, So you did not fulfill it in your own way that you wanted to, but still you went through the process. You can still get credit for it. But right down here, you can see, what did you perceive and notice in your experience? How did you feel being involved? What did you think about the experience or the service? We want to see some emotions in here as well. One other place that you can go to is in Files. If you click on Files and CAS and go down here into Reflection Questions, I've also posted um, different questions that can help you understand how to write a reflection. One of the big ones that you're going to want to think about is, how can I apply what I've learned in this experience to other life situations? IB definitely wants to see that. And what could you do differently next time to improve? These are the kinds of things that we want to see you talk about in your reflections. Now, you will also notice, though, that you can add journals. Excuse me, I'm just going to get back to Josh's account here. So once I'm back in here and there's reflections, there's many ways that you can reflect. You can create a blog, create a video, a photo, a file. You can do a painting. A painting can be a reflection as well, or photography can be a reflection. But just make sure that your CAS advisor and I know that that's a reflection of your feelings. And so that is an extension on his coaching under 16 football, that we can go in there and that we can see that he's added his very first reflection.